For decades, tensions simmered in the Middle East, with Israel, Iran, and the United States entangled in a dangerous rivalry. This conflict did not appear overnight. Ideology, mistrust, and strategic fears steadily pulled the region toward inevitable confrontation. To understand the war, we trace its roots through revolutions, proxy battles, and decades of failed diplomacy. In 1979, Iran's Islamic Revolution overthrew the monarchy, replacing Western-aligned governance with a radical religious state. The revolution rejected Israel's legitimacy, framing opposition as a moral and religious duty guiding Iran's foreign policy for decades. Relations with the United States collapsed after the embassy hostage crisis, creating decades of mistrust influencing Iran's strategic approach. The Iran-Iraq War hardened Iran's worldview. Survival depended on militarization, sacrifice, and a strong nationalistic resolve against foreign threats. Iranian leaders learned that strategic patience, long-term planning, and proxy influence were key to projecting regional power. These lessons shaped Iran's approach toward Israel and the United States, setting the stage for modern conflict decades later.
Israel, small but strategically positioned, developed a security doctrine emphasizing preemption, deterrence, and rapid response to any regional threat. Intelligence agencies monitored Iran's regional activities closely, analyzing proxy movements and missile tests that could endanger Israeli cities. The rise of Hezbollah and other armed groups in Lebanon amplified Israel's security concerns, demanding constant readiness and vigilance. Rocket attacks from neighboring regions reinforced Israel's belief that Iran orchestrated regional instability through proxies and clandestine networks. By the late 1990s, Israel invested heavily in missile defense systems like Arrow and Iron Dome to counter emerging threats. Military planners increasingly considered preemptive strikes, weighing the risks of early action against Iran's growing nuclear ambitions. Drone surveillance and satellite reconnaissance allowed Israel to track Iran's activities discreetly, strengthening early warning capabilities and strategic planning. The growing sophistication of Iran's nuclear program intensified Israel's fear, pushing policymakers to prepare for potential direct action. Israel's strategic doctrine emphasized speed and precision, ensuring that any retaliation or preemptive strike could be executed within hours. Training exercises simulated large-scale attacks, preparing forces to neutralize threats from Iran-backed groups or nuclear escalations. Intelligence sharing with the United States strengthened Israel's early warning networks, allowing both countries to anticipate regional escalations. Israeli leadership continuously debated risk thresholds, balancing deterrence with caution to avoid triggering a wider Middle East war. During crises, command centers maintained constant readiness, monitoring both military movements and Iran's nuclear program developments. Regional events such as Hezbollah attacks or Iran-backed operations reinforced Israel's perception that proactive defense was essential. By the early 2000s, Iran's nuclear ambitions became Israel's central concern, prompting preparations for potential preemptive strikes. Every decision was measured carefully as Israel weighed the existential threat of Iran's nuclear program against regional stability.
By 2006, Iran expanded uranium enrichment, insisting the program was peaceful, while global powers grew increasingly suspicious of potential nuclear weaponization. Sanctions intensified as international pressure mounted, aiming to curb Iran's nuclear ambitions without resorting to direct military conflict. Diplomacy became the preferred strategy, with world leaders seeking inspections, negotiations, and oversight to prevent catastrophic escalation. The 2015 nuclear agreement temporarily slowed Iran's program, delaying progress toward potential weaponization while fostering limited international cooperation. Despite the agreement, deep mistrust persisted, as Israel and regional powers feared Iran's intentions and potential circumvention of restrictions. Proxy attacks escalated across Iraq, Syria, and maritime routes, demonstrating Iran's influence and testing Israel's defensive readiness. Drone operations allowed both sides to strike with plausible deniability, expanding the conflict without immediate attribution. Assassinations and covert strikes heightened tensions, forcing leaders to constantly adjust strategy and anticipate retaliation. Regional conflicts intensified, stretching Israel's defensive resources and prompting closer collaboration with allied nations for intelligence sharing. Through 2020, multiple theaters of conflict emerged simultaneously, normalizing low-intensity warfare and continuous military readiness. Strategic planners monitored Iran's nuclear milestones alongside proxy operations, preparing preemptive and defensive options at all times. Attacks on supply lines and strategic infrastructure forced continuous adaptation, ensuring Iran's proxy networks remained under pressure. Escalation cycles repeated as every strike prompted counterstrikes, keeping the region in a near-constant state of heightened alert. International diplomacy continued behind the scenes, but mistrust limited its effectiveness as both sides prepared for direct confrontation. By 2021, Israel and allies increasingly planned for contingencies, integrating cyber, air, and naval strategies to deter Iran's growing ambitions. Proxy attacks intensified in populated areas, demonstrating the high stakes of escalation and forcing constant civilian alert measures. The strategic balance remained fragile, with every operation carefully calculated to apply pressure without igniting all-out war. Israel and the United States strengthened intelligence sharing and coordinated rapid response measures across multiple potential attack scenarios. Simultaneously, Iran reinforced proxy capabilities and covert operations, testing Israel's defensive systems and gauging reaction times. Cyber attacks emerged as a new front, targeting communications and logistics to disrupt both military and civilian networks. The dual threat of nuclear capability and proxy operations created a constant high-alert environment for Israeli defense forces. 2022 saw an unprecedented tempo of drone and missile strikes, forcing rapid adjustments in strategy and readiness across all sectors. Simulated exercises mirrored potential large-scale strikes, ensuring forces could respond effectively under extreme pressure. Leadership debated thresholds for escalation, weighing regional stability against the existential threat posed by Iran's nuclear program. Each calculated decision aimed to prevent all-out war while maintaining pressure on Iran and its regional proxies.
In 2024, covert operations escalated into direct strikes, signaling a dangerous shift from proxy warfare to full-scale confrontation in multiple regions. Air defense alerts became near constant, forcing civilians into shelters and prompting Israel to activate emergency preparedness measures nationwide. Israel increased surveillance and missile interception readiness, with Iron Dome systems constantly tracking incoming threats in real time. Cyber operations expanded, targeting critical infrastructure, power grids, and communication networks to undermine enemy coordination without physical confrontation. Naval forces secured strategic waterways, ensuring maritime supply routes remained operational while deterring potential attacks on shipping lanes. Airstrikes and counterstrikes occurred daily, testing Israel's ability to respond rapidly to escalating Iranian and proxy attacks. Civilians adapted to constant alerts, forming a resilient society under pressure, but tensions created widespread fear and uncertainty. Strategic command centers coordinated air, cyber, and intelligence resources, constantly updating operational plans to counter evolving threats.
Proxies launched rocket attacks into border regions, testing Iron Dome defenses while signaling Iran's readiness for escalation. Israeli forces conducted precision strikes on identified enemy positions, aiming to degrade operational capabilities without provoking wider conflict. Cyber attacks disrupted communications and logistics, slowing enemy response times and forcing strategic recalculations by Iranian proxies. Simultaneously, reconnaissance drones gathered critical intelligence on enemy movements, providing real-time updates to command centers. 2024 marked unprecedented escalation, forcing Israel to maintain continuous alert while coordinating multi-domain responses to complex threats. Leaders debated strategic thresholds, weighing the cost of full retaliation against the risk of leaving threats unchecked. Every strike and counterstrike had to be measured carefully, balancing deterrence with the risk of full-scale war. Military drills simulated large-scale escalation scenarios, ensuring forces could respond rapidly under extreme pressure and uncertainty. Cyber and electronic warfare expanded, targeting critical infrastructure and communication networks to disrupt enemy coordination. Proxy attacks continued, demonstrating Iran's reach and forcing Israel to maintain a constant high alert posture across all borders. Regional allies coordinated intelligence sharing, ensuring rapid dissemination of information and strategic planning against evolving threats. Every decision weighed the potential for escalation, balancing preemptive action with the imperative to avoid wider regional conflict. Air, cyber, and naval forces worked in unison, ready to respond immediately to any threat from Iran or its proxy networks. Intelligence indicated new Iranian developments, forcing Israeli forces to continuously adapt strategy and anticipate potential escalations. By late 2024, the conflict had entered a phase of sustained tension, where minor incidents could trigger larger confrontations. Israel's strategic doctrine emphasized rapid response, precision strikes, and continuous intelligence monitoring to maintain the upper hand. Simulated scenarios helped anticipate Iranian proxy actions, preparing military units for high-stakes decision-making under extreme pressure. Every operation was coordinated with allies, balancing offensive measures with the imperative to prevent wider escalation. Civilian populations were placed on constant alert, adjusting to a world where daily life existed alongside perpetual military readiness. The cycle of strikes, counterstrikes, and cyber attacks maintained pressure on Iran while avoiding a full-scale war. Commanders continuously adjusted strategies, preparing for multiple contingencies, balancing the risk of escalation with operational objectives. As 2025 approached, tensions had reached a breaking point, setting the stage for unprecedented conflict across multiple fronts.
By early 2025, coordinated airstrikes and proxy attacks escalated, forcing Israel to activate its highest state of military readiness across all fronts. Air, land, and sea operations expanded simultaneously, with Israel targeting strategic Iranian assets while deterring proxy attacks regionally. Cyber warfare intensified, disrupting communications, power grids, and logistics, forcing rapid adaptations in both military and civilian sectors. Proxy attacks surged, with rockets and drones striking border towns, testing defensive capabilities while avoiding direct, full-scale confrontation. Strategic command centers coordinated multiple operations, integrating intelligence, cyber, and conventional forces for synchronized response. Naval forces secured critical waterways, preventing attacks on shipping lanes while projecting power across the eastern Mediterranean. Precision airstrikes targeted command hubs, supply lines, and weapons depots, applying pressure without provoking a wider regional war. Intelligence sharing with allies ensured rapid situational awareness, allowing Israel to anticipate threats and respond preemptively.
urban centers in Israel remained on alert as citizens adapted to intermittent missile alerts and civil defense drills. Simultaneously, Iran reinforced its proxy networks, demonstrating capability to strike deeper into Israeli territory. Missile defenses intercepted dozens of incoming rockets, highlighting Israel's technological edge while testing endurance of military systems. Airborne intelligence and drones monitored enemy movements in real time, providing commanders critical information for rapid decision-making. Cyber operations continued targeting logistics and communications, causing temporary disruption to enemy coordination and infrastructure. Throughout 2025, strikes and counterstrikes maintained pressure, testing limits while avoiding full-scale war escalation. Strategic exercises simulated large-scale scenarios, preparing forces to respond under extreme threat while maintaining regional deterrence. Leadership carefully measured each action, ensuring retaliation sent a message without triggering uncontrolled regional war. Civilian populations continued adjusting to alerts, integrating drills into daily routines to minimize casualties during strikes. Military planners constantly updated strategies based on evolving threats, balancing offensive actions with long-term stability. Naval, air, and cyber operations worked in unison, maintaining constant readiness across multiple domains. Every missile intercepted, every cyber strike executed, sent a clear signal to Iran about Israel's resolve and capabilities. Proxies continued testing defenses, but Israel's integrated strategy ensured minimal damage and maintained civilian safety. Strategic coordination with international allies provided intelligence and operational support, reinforcing Israel's position in a rapidly escalating conflict. Cyber, air, and naval operations maintained pressure, signaling that Israel could respond to threats at multiple levels simultaneously. Every operation was calculated, ensuring the balance between deterrence, offensive action, and avoiding uncontrolled escalation. As 2026 arrived, the region faced unprecedented tension, with every action capable of triggering a historic escalation across the Middle East.
Across the Middle East, a hidden struggle unfolds through covert missions, cyber warfare, and precision strikes shaping global security. Between 2023 and 2026, several military operations revealed the evolving nature of modern conflict in the region. These operations involve states, militias, cyber units, and intelligence agencies competing for influence and strategic advantage. Understanding these operations reveals how modern warfare increasingly combines technology, intelligence networks, and conventional military force. The story begins in 2023 with escalating tensions that sparked one of the most intense cycles of regional confrontation. In 2023, militants declared Operation Glad Tidings, launching coordinated rocket attacks toward Israeli cities during escalating Gaza conflict. Hundreds of rockets targeted towns and military sites, forcing civilians into shelters across southern Israel. Israeli missile defense systems activated rapidly, intercepting many rockets before they reached populated areas. Israeli leaders responded with airstrikes targeting militant infrastructure and weapons depots throughout Gaza. The confrontation intensified regional tensions and increased fears of broader conflict spreading beyond Gaza. In 2024, Iran launched Operation True Promise after a deadly strike on its diplomatic compound in Damascus. The operation involved drones and missiles launched across long distances toward Israeli territory.
The strike represented one of the first large-scale direct attacks from Iran toward Israel. Israeli and Allied defense systems intercepted many projectiles, preventing major destruction across urban areas. The attack marked a dangerous turning point in the confrontation between Iran and Israel. In 2024, Israel reportedly launched Operation Rising Lion, targeting militant infrastructure in Syria and Lebanon. The objective focused on disrupting weapons transfers linked to Iranian-backed militant organizations. Precision strikes targeted storage facilities, command centers, and missile launch sites. These operations aim to weaken proxy forces threatening Israel's borders. However, such operations also risked escalating confrontation between regional powers. By 2025, analysts described Operation Midnight Hammer as a covert campaign targeting Iranian military networks. The campaign relied heavily on intelligence gathering, cyber attacks, and covert sabotage. These covert actions attempted to slow weapons programs without triggering open warfare. The shadow conflict increasingly shifted toward technology and intelligence operations. By 2026, reports referenced Operation Epic Fury, targeting communication systems and regional military coordination networks. The operation intensified cyber attacks and surveillance missions across strategic locations. Electronic warfare units attempted to disrupt communications between allied militant groups. Experts warned such covert campaigns could trigger wider confrontation if miscalculated. These operations highlight the growing role of cyber and intelligence warfare. Beyond individual operations, the confrontation reshaped alliances and military planning across the Middle East and global powers. Countries across the region strengthened missile defenses, anticipating further drone and rocket attacks. Drone technology quickly became a defining element of modern warfare across the region. Cyber warfare units increasingly targeted communication systems, infrastructure networks, and military command centers. These evolving tactics blurred the line between conventional warfare and covert operations.
Proxy groups supported by regional powers became central players within the wider confrontation. These groups allowed states to influence conflicts without direct confrontation between major militaries. However, proxy warfare often intensified instability and prolonged cycles of retaliation.
Each operation added pressure to an already fragile regional balance. The world watched closely as the situation continued evolving. Modern conflicts increasingly combine drones, cyber attacks, satellites, and intelligence operations. Artificial intelligence and automated systems began shaping military decision-making. These technologies allow operations to occur faster and with greater, but technological warfare also increases the risk of rapid escalation. Even a small miscalculation could trigger a wider conflict. International diplomacy attempted to reduce tensions and prevent further harm. Sanctions, negotiations, and international pressure became key tools for managing the crisis. Despite negotiations, distrust between rival powers remained extremely high. Each new operation threatened to undo fragile diplomatic progress. The region remained one of the world's most strategically important areas. Operations like Glad Tidings, True Promise, Rising Lion, Midnight Hammer, and Epic Fury reveal a complex shadow war. These events demonstrate how modern warfare often occurs beyond public view. Hidden conflicts shape political decisions and global security strategies. As technology evolves, future conflicts may rely even more on intelligence and cyber operations. The stakes remain high for both regional powers and the international community. Understanding these operations helps explain the tensions shaping modern geopolitics. The future depends on whether diplomacy or confrontation defines the next chapter. History shows that even small events can reshape global power balances. For now, the shadow war continues quietly beneath the surface. The world watches carefully as tensions persist across one of the most strategic regions on Earth. Across decades of tension, secret plans and powerful decisions shaped the conflict between nations. From Operation Midnight Hammer to Rising Lion, True Promise, Glad Tidings, and Epic Fury, history unfolded in shadows. Missiles, intelligence networks, and global alliances turned regional rivalry into a story watched by the entire world. But history is never finished. New events are already forming the next chapter. For more stories that explain the past and reveal the forces shaping tomorrow, this is DateWise History.